now. What would you say to Kathleen 2 years ago?
Wow.
I was making $3,000 a month in my online business when I started studying law of attraction. And here I am $15 million later in just under 2 years in a beautiful academy to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create success in their own lives.
The dollar amount is just a reflection of the impact that we have made on this world and how many people we've been able to help through courses, programs, masterminds, live events. And that leads us up to the Bahamas, where it was all coming together beautifully, and things shifted. It was horrifying. I'm somebody who's always thinking about the future and the bright side and the fourth dimension, and there was none of that. But I have come out of this now just absolutely knowing without a shadow of doubt, even more than I knew before, what I'm here to do. It was all part of the plan of preparing me to be able to help more people. Tomorrow starts tonight. This is one life. We are only here for a short time. I only have infinite number of opportunities. I only have an infinite number of moments to experience the wonder that is this life. And I'm not going to waste a moment of it any longer.
Good morning. How is everyone feeling? Hold on, I can only see myself. I always gotta change it. I like to see everybody's beautiful faces. That's why I don't like just a live stream or just streaming to YouTube. We did once where I couldn't see everybody's faces, and I was like, who am I talking to? Camera? I really like to engage and be with people, and I've actually really started to fall in love with being in people's personal energy, physical space. So we have lots of opportunities for you to do that this year. So just ask the team, and I'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow, but it hits different when you're actually in physical space with somebody, able to talk to them, touch them, feel them. But it's pretty cool what we can do with energy over space like this. The fact that we can all be here from all over the world and be able to feel the energy off of each other. So many of you said you were vibrating yesterday. Some people felt their vibration completely different for the remainder of the day. Some are still vibrating right now, and they were like, what is this? What's happening? And it's because you tapped into the collective, right? We created a collective energy together yesterday. And with that, we all elevated each other because of that. So if you don't think that your presence matters, I want you to really think again, because it wasn't just me yesterday. It was me with all of you yesterday that created that energy. You are important. You are powerful. You are such an integral part of this world. And I hope you really feel that, you want to feel that, that sense of value that you give. It would be a completely different experience if you weren't here. So thank you for showing up again, everybody. If you're watching the replay, welcome. We're so excited. We had a wonderful day yesterday. It was emotional because of the impact that it had, the messages, the phone calls that I got, the DMs, the comments. This work is so important. And every single time we do something like this, we're kind of hit in the face with it again, with just how meaningful this work is and how important it is. And so we're just really grateful and happy to be here. And we don't take this opportunity for granted at all. So just know that we're living in our purpose and our calling, and it feels so good. It feels so good. I want to do a quick recap about yesterday. I have this dog. He's killing me. Can you hear him? Can you hear him whining? Oh. So, okay. So here's this, now he's, I'm just going to open the door, but I closed the door because he was barking so badly, but now I'm curious. Hold on. You put your knock in the bar, Humphrey. Come on. Come on. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he does. Anyways, this is Humphrey. He doesn't live with me anymore. Did I get the Frenchie for my daughter? No. No, this is Humphrey. He's 15 years old. He was the dog that we got in 2009. When Chris and I first got married, we thought, let's get 2 dogs. And he's 15 years old. He can't see a thing. He can't hear a thing. He's on medication. He's like 90, I think, if you put it into like dog years, he's like 90. Yesterday he was quiet the whole day, and today he's just barking all day. So we're gonna see what happens. But now I'm manifesting him barking because I was thinking about him barking. Yesterday did not have a thought about it at all. So what we pay attention to is very, very powerful. So just remember that. So I'm gonna pretend like he's not there. Anyway, this is Humphrey. But what I was saying was, how did everybody do with the homework yesterday? Okay, so this is really fun, and I don't know where this language came from. I didn't say it yesterday, but it was on the document. I told Jen, I said, day 1, I want them to do an abundance inventory. I don't know where inventory came from, but I wanted you to look at your life right now and to realize that you are not lacking. Like, you do have abundance, and it's there and it's available. And I think I was confused. So all we want you to do is look at all the ways in which your life is already good, how your life already has abundance, how you're living in a state of plenty already. This is a function of our mind. Our mind has a perception and a perspective, right? So we can look at a situation in a number of different ways. The situation isn't what it is. It's our interpretation of the situation, which is a function of our mind, that will tell us this is good, this is bad, this sucks, this is making me really happy, right? Like, so the situation itself is not good or bad. It just is. There is no meaning. The ocean is not beautiful. Like, it's not sitting there going, I'm so beautiful, look at me. Like, it just is. We look at it and we decide that that's what beauty is. That's what beauty is. So now we get an opportunity to do that with our lives. And so if you look at your life and you're like, oh, this sucks. I am displeased with this. I don't have enough of this. I'm not good at this. I don't know enough about this. Oh, here we go again. Another person coming over here to insult me. Like, it's a way of seeing your life. And the way that you see your life, the beliefs that you hold about it, then determine what you think. Because you start to think from the interpretation of your life, and how you interpret your life, it's true for you, becomes your truth. And then you start to express life based on that. So we can actually create our own reality without changing our physical reality. So you can go from seeing nothing but lack and limitation in your life, nothing but displeasure, nothing but dissatisfaction, and you can turn it around and start to observe love and joy and peace and plenty and all those things. But I don't want you to stop there, right? So a lot of people will stop there. They will say, okay, let's start seeing the good in our lives. Let's be happier. Let's have more peace, inner peace. And that's great. But I want you to start to see the good in your life and then to call in more good in your life so that we actually physically change what you observe in your life. So if you continue to see the same thing in your life year after year, the same amount of money, the same amount of business success, the same relationships, the same health, your health is similar year after year after year. Likely what's happening is you're starting to perceive your life in a more favorable light, which is good. Like if you're feeling happier, but nothing else has changed, but you haven't changed your identity. So I want to talk about identity today. That's really important. We will call that in. So the energy that we want to be in then is we want to be in an attitude of gratitude, but we want to be grateful, but never satisfied. Grateful, but never satisfied. Now, if you truly are satisfied, right? Like if you think your life is perfect It is amazing. It cannot get any better. You're living in awe of it every day, and you're like, wow, I'm so blessed. Could this get any better? I don't even think so. If you're already living there, then okay, maybe you don't need dissatisfaction. But I don't think you'd be on a training like this, if that's the case. So if you're on a training like this, you understand awareness, you understand ascension, and you understand wanting to become a better version of yourself to experience the better that life has to offer. So grateful but never satisfied is a beautiful energy to be in, because dissatisfaction is a creative energy. Because if you're not satisfied with your life and you want more, what are you more likely to do? What are you more likely to do? You're going to take risks. You're going to make different decisions. You're going to ask for more in your life. And if we all decided that we were satisfied, life's good, we're done, and we just stayed the same, we would not evolve as a species. Like there wouldn't be Tesla, there wouldn't be going to Mars, there wouldn't be the internet and this Zoom. Like, we are meant to ascend and expand, and we are meant to become elevated versions of ourselves. That is in our nature. So dissatisfaction is in our nature, right? So there's some people that feel like it's a bad thing to be dissatisfied. I always want more. But I think what's happening is they feel that they don't have enough. Do you feel the difference? I don't have enough versus I want more. Two completely different feelings. So I would never say or feel like my life isn't enough. I'm not enough. I don't have enough financially. And when I say I would never, I mean Casey, the version of me that I am right now. Past versions of me, oh yeah. He's just sitting here whining. I hope you guys, love he's my soundtrack. He's my soundtrack today, the whining soundtrack. Humphrey, can you stop? He can't even hear me to tell him to stop. Oh man, he is so funny. But anyway, so I never have enough and I want more, right? Two completely different energies. So let's stay in the energy of I would love more. I love what I have, but I would love more. I'm open for more. That's the energy. So that's why I wanted to do that activity, the abundance inventory yesterday, is I wanted to turn you to gratitude. I really wanted you to start to feel. There's no one there. Hold on. I had to get stern with him there. Like, he's making me laugh. Anyway, so we really, really want to move into this energy then of I'm grateful, I'm never satisfied, but I'm so happy with my current life. That's how we become a vibrational match. But so yesterday I talked about the law of infinite supply. We create a demand, and then supply will infinitely be generated. Supply will infinitely be generated through that demand, right? So the demand is in your thinking, right? And so everything starts from the mind and moves into the physical form. Nothing starts in the body and then you think about it later. It's the other way around. The mind is actually what is controlling the body. So if you are taking action and you don't know why you're taking action, or you're not taking action, the knowing doing gap, you know what you need to do every day, but you just never do it. And you're not consciously aware of why. It just means that you just don't know why. But there is something in your thinking, a belief that can change your action in your life. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But the law of expression. This is a law that I teach in part of my course. I have a course called By Law. And the law of expression, I actually haven't read it anywhere. It just came through me. And what I found with this law, and why I wanted to really, really put this down into like a concrete way of seeing it, is the law of cause and effect says that every effect in your life is caused by one thing, your consciousness. But then I go, how? But how? But I need to know how. So then I said, okay, well, the how is the law of expression. Because what you have programmed in you, in your mind, what is programmed in the subconscious mind, specifically unconsciously, you will naturally and automatically express that version of you. That's the law of expression. So if I believe in my mind I'm a failure, okay, and this might not be a thought that comes through for you, like you might not think to yourself, oh, look at me, I'm a failure again, but you might have the feeling that you're a failure. Okay, do you know what I mean? Like underlying belief that, oh, look at this person is succeeding again. Where does that come from? That comes from your belief that you're not. Because another person succeeding does not trigger you if you believe you're succeeding as well. If you believe you're succeeding as well, you're like, wow, look at them go. Yes, this is exciting. But when you see somebody winning and you're like, oh, again? Look at them go. And you're triggered, you're activated, you feel jealousy, you feel envy, you even just, you can't watch it. Like, I can't even look at this. It's pissing me off. You don't believe that you're doing what they're doing. And that's the trigger, that's the activation. So that tells me then that there is something in your subconscious mind that believes that you aren't successful or successful enough. Successful enough, right? So if we have a belief in the subconscious mind that is, I'm not successful enough, you're naturally and automatically going to express life as that version of you, right? So how do we express and naturally and automatically be somebody that believes they aren't successful? You have an idea, an intuitive hit to go live, and you go, no, nobody's going to watch it anyways. You have an idea for a course, and you go, nah, maybe I'll work on it in 6 months. Like, you will literally behave in correspondence to what's within you. So for me, I believe I am very successful. I have programmed this into me. I'm successful. How are you? If you've seen Tiffany Haddish, that reel, she introduces herself. Hi, I'm successful. How are you? So like that really resonated with me. So now I'm like, I'm successful. I'm successful. Oh yeah, I'm the most successful person I know. Like these are the types of things I say to myself now, right? Because they make me feel a certain way. So I started to believe it. And then now I'm like, every time I get an idea of something, I'm like, team, let's launch it right now. And they're like, well, Kathleen, like we gotta like look at the schedule and like we gotta do a whole bunch of back end things. And, so this is what I mean is like when you believe certain things about yourself, you behave different. You just walk differently, right? How do you begin that successful thinking? So I have a 4-step manifestation process. I'll say it's super, super quick, but I think we have the manifest replay maybe on YouTube or something like that. But basically, it has to be, number one, awareness. You cannot change your thinking unless you are aware of your current thinking. So there's a lot of people out there that just start pulling affirmations. They're like, oh, that's a good affirmation. That's a good one. That's a good one. And they don't actually know themselves. They aren't aware of themselves. They just start using these affirmations. But self-awareness is the key. So it's to say, you know what? You're right, Kathleen. I do feel that way. Or you know what? I don't feel this way about myself. Or I'm having thoughts like this, and yada, 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 yada. And so once you are aware, you can create the opposite way of thinking. It's one thing to say it to yourself, but how do you really embody the feeling of being successful? So you get it. Like, Michelle, you actually get this. This isn't about just saying on a conscious level, I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm successful. The next step is to say, what would I think to myself? What would I say? How would I behave if I believed I was successful? If I was truly and absolutely convinced that I was successful, what would I do, right? So number one is always awareness. Number two is to enter into the spirit. You must enter into the spirit of thing before you do the thing. So entering into the spirit means to connect to your oneness, to connect with God, source, energy, universe. Don't try to start manifesting what you want alone by yourself, because what are you going to do? You're going to move your body in mechanical masculine action. You're going to hustle. You're going to grind. You're going to work hard, and you're just going to move. I want you to slow down. I want you to get in spirit. I want you to feel God all through you. I want you to feel that source energy. This is where spirituality comes in. And then you go into the intellectual mind. Number three, reprogram the intellectual mind. Right? So when we're reprogramming the intellectual mind, we're saying, okay, now I'm aware that these are the wrong and small thoughts I have about myself. These are the things that I believe that are true that are limiting me. Wow. So what thought wouldn't limit me? What would open my eyes up? What would open my mind? What would open me to be a new vessel? So a lot of you had awarenesses, aha moments yesterday, because I said things that you became aware of your belief around them, which now you can create a new belief. But then step 4 in the manifestation process is to actually embody the new belief, right? So if I was successful, I would launch the course. If I believed I was successful, I would go live. If I believed I was successful, I would show up. I would post myself on my social media. I would put the open sign on the front of my store. So this is where we want to understand the old, replace with the new, and then we want to embody the new version of ourselves. Put it into the body. One of my favorite quotes that I've said is that, like, I am faith on fire, man. Like, I am faith on fire. And what that means to me is that I'm literally walking in faith. So every step I take towards what I want in my life, I do it with faith on fire. So I'm walking with faith. So how can you walk through life as a successful person? How can you walk through life confidently? How can you walk through life with courage? How can you walk through life with bravery? And when you're walking through life, you're moving forward continuously. So this is how we actually do a whole reprogramming of the subconscious mind, so that what you naturally express is a new version of you. You will move differently. You will move differently. Maura, I'm sorry, I've just got to quickly say, okay, here's an example. I don't know if her camera's on, but Maura is somebody that's been in our energy. She's in the Millionaire Program. She's a phenomenal, beautiful woman. I got the opportunity to hug her in person in New York City over Christmas. But Maura would not come off of mute, would not turn on her camera on any of our Zooms, wouldn't even speak on the embodiment sessions. And yesterday, when we played that song, her camera was on and she was dancing. And I could feel spirit flowing to and through her. And I videoed her, actually. I took a video of her because this is it. And so what changed? The way she sees herself. That's what changed. And so many of us, I feel like, especially in the masculine way of doing things, we want to use motivation. Like, we want to use motivation and, like, what's that other word people used to say to me all the time? Oh, you've got willpower, right? Oh, we're going to use motivation and willpower to change a habit. So do it for 21 days and it'll become natural. Don't do it at all, only in your mind. Then when you start to do it in the mind, it's natural. And then when you do it in the 3D world, it's easy. And then it naturally becomes what you love, right? Maura, quiet and in the background, not the powerful woman I know. See? Right? I just spent 3 days with my best friend in Mexico, in Tulum. She came with me. And her and I have known each other since we were 12 years old. So she really knows, like, Kathleen, the girl, and then the young woman, and and her and I, we in the past 4 years haven't talked all that much, but we're the type of friends where we don't see each other for a long time. We come back together and we just click right back again. But it was really powerful to be in her energy because she was like, what happened to you? Like, you were so insecure. You hated yourself. You hated your body. You were like shameful and self-conscious. And, I was timid and I would have said I was shy and I hid myself. And she's like, she was so inspired. She said, she said, you're the same woman, but you're a completely different version of you. Because now I let my light shine and I self-express. I don't suppress. Maura was suppressing. She's now expressing. So here's a little example from my good friend Lane. Okay, so Lane, I adore him so much. I haven't heard from him in a bit. This is maybe I'm supposed to reach out and see how he's doing. But he was taking the Wealth from Within program last year, and he messaged me and he's like, you mentioned self-expression, and I said, yeah, and he's like, and you mentioned how, like, are you fully expressing or are you suppressing based on what you think people will think of you? He's like, yeah. He said, so I tested something out. I said, okay, what? He said, well, I drove up to a light. He's in his car listening to music and he's dancing and singing at the top of his lungs, just fully expressing, just dancing and singing and just having an amazing time. And then he pulls up to a stoplight and there's a car beside him and he stopped and he paid attention and he noticed. And what he noticed was the worry about what somebody else is going to think of him with the singing and the dancing. And so he noticed it right away, turned the music back up, and started dancing again. That's awareness. To notice when I'm suppressing because of the observer, there's a thing called the observed effect. If we believe that we are being observed, we behave differently. And so I think what we want to do is we want to return back to a version of ourselves that loves ourselves so much that we are comfortable being ourselves. Thomas Troward says there is a livingness in being ourselves. There is a livingness. What does that word mean? Livingness. Have you felt the livingness of life? I don't think I felt that until 2019 when I started studying myself. I truly don't. I think I had moments of fun and moments of joy in my life, but I don't think I really felt the livingness of life. To feel alive. Yes, Kat. To feel alive, to feel fully alive in being yourself, right? And I used to be somebody too, and you may resonate with this. I love to dance. I love to move my body and I love to dance. But up until probably 2020, I needed alcohol in my system to dance in front of someone. At a wedding, at a dance club, there's no way my body would even move without that alcohol to remove some of the inhibitions, to relax me, to let me let go of the self-consciousness. So what was happening now? What was happening? I was so self-conscious. I was in my personal mind. I was in my ego, right? We believe that there is an invisible audience watching us at all moments, judging us. And it matters what they think of us. It matters what outfit I'm wearing. It matters the way I move my body. And then you have a little bit of alcohol. What does the alcohol do? It lets your mind relax, soften, stop trying to control, stop being so self-conscious. It's not that serious. It's not that important. Let's stop. Right? So this is what I want us to do, is to learn how to let our light shine, for us to be ourselves without needing that sort of thing. So now I dance in front of anyone, anywhere. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't drink alcohol anymore. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in 2 years. I feel so clear and just so connected. So connected to source energy. And I have no problem dancing. I even went to a club in Vegas. Oh my gosh, we were out till 3 a.m. I haven't done that in a long time. I just wish that the clubs opened at like 6 p.m. Like, go to dinner, go to the club dancing for an hour. But like, the club doesn't even start hopping till 11 at night. Like, I have been sleeping 2 hours at that point. Anyways, just a little funny. But even our team, even right before we got onto this call, we have a dance party as a team. We play really great music. We have DJ Shannon Beardsmore on my team, and we dance before. And so it means a lot to be able to move your body and to fully express and not worry what other people think of you. So what's the connection to money then? What does fully expressing yourself have anything to do with money? What's the connection? Money responds to your identity. So who you believe you are has a feeling, right? So if I believe I'm not worthy, that doesn't feel very good, does it? It's called the emotional conception of self. So Kathleen, 4 years ago, she felt a certain way. She felt insecure. She felt kind of sad. She felt kind of, I would say, underwhelmed with life, So that feeling of me created a relationship with money to a certain extent at a certain amount of money, about $100,000 a year. So think about someone that's very, very wealthy, that has a lot of money, and they have a big impact on this world, and they love what they do, absolutely love what they do. They're living in their purpose. They work not because they have to, but because they want to, right? So think about somebody like that. What's their identity? What's their identity? They believe they're worthy. They believe they're good enough. They believe they're powerful. They believe that they're impacting people positively. They believe that they're making an impact on the world, right? Like, it's so important for us to understand that they see themselves in a certain way, hence why they manifest the wealth that they manifest. But money is not manifested from mood, right? So one of the biggest myths that I hear all the time in law of attraction is just think positively. Thinking positive thoughts will create positive results in your life. Okay. Is every wealthy person a positive person? No, absolutely not. And is every positive person wealthy? Nope. So how I like to see it is the identity of who you believe you are has a feeling which matches a frequency of vibration. And the frequency of vibration related to wealth is how we match with the vibration of wealth, and we then generate more. So a lot of people will focus on manifesting small sums of money or one-time sums of money, right? So if you want to manifest $5,000, I'm going to teach you how to manifest $5,000 once. That's not what I do. I'm not going to teach you intermittent manifestations. What I teach is transformation. So I teach you how to go from the life that you're living today to a completely different life by creating a new identity. So yes, Elizabeth. So let's increase your income every month by $5,000 per month consistently. It's a habit. We want to create a habit. Then when we've increased our income to $5,000 a month more every month, let's go to $20,000 a month every single month consistently as a habit. It becomes natural, and this is how you express life. Naturally, right? So this isn't about just a lump sum of money today, right now, for a moment. This is about understanding that we're going to actually change the way in which you see yourself, create a transformation, permanent change in consciousness to elevate who you are and elevate your experience with life. And this training is specifically geared towards money, but I don't want us to forget that it's not the only thing, and it's not the most important thing. It's not. The most important thing comes from, I would say, self-love. Then I would probably say fulfillment and gratitude and joy and wholeness. And then money becomes one of those things that can be a beautiful contribution to the experience of your life. So yes, I want better relationships. Yes, I want more money. Yes, I want better health. Yes, I want to travel more. Yes, I want to make a bigger impact, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I can manifest the lottery, but only as a starting point. Why would you want to manifest the lottery? Why? Why would you want to win the lottery in a lump sum once? Because it's easy. You don't want to work. You don't want to change. You don't want to transform. Why would we want to do that? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just asking the question. I'm just making you self-aware. Winning the lottery is actually not by law. It's not by law. So what does that mean? Money was created for an exchange, right? So in order for us to use money according to universal law, it is to be used in an exchange. So I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to give me the money for it. So what is your impact on others for winning the lottery? How do you help the world before you get the money? Okay, so we could say, oh, well, if you let me win the lottery, then I'll donate it all. No, it has to actually come first. So we don't go to our massage therapist and be like, hey girl, give me a massage, and once you give me the massage, I'll go donate. No, you pay for the massage. So I just want us to think, some of the wealthiest people in the world have the biggest impact on humanity, whether you believe that or not. So how can you be of more service? How can you help more people? How can you make a bigger impact? That's what I want you to be asking. Not even, how can I have more money? How can I make a bigger difference? And then be compensated for the bigger difference. So every day my thoughts are, how can I teach this to more people? How can I help more people? How can I help people to awaken and to grow and to ascend? And I want more people to feel this level of gratitude. I want people to feel this level of joy. I want people to feel what it feels like to be wealthy. I want you to feel it. And not from me just giving you money. I want you to be so proud of what you've done, so proud of who you've become, of the difference you've made in this world, that you sit back and you're like, I did that. This is who I am. This is me. That's what I want for all of you. So that's why I say this is transformation. This is a whole new way of being and existing. What did you just say? I feel triggered and emotional all at the same time. This is a crazy feeling. Yeah. So just notice. Be an observer, right? So when you're an observer and you're observing without judgment, it's where you step back and you say, okay, what am I emotional about? What am I triggered about? What am I excited about? And just pay attention and observe. So to observe with judgment would be to say, I'm triggered by this and that's a bad thing. I shouldn't be triggered. No, being triggered is amazing, guys. If you never get triggered, you'll never grow. Like the things that irk you, that piss you off, that make you sad, that make you angry, like those are all opportunities for growth. And we should be so grateful for them. So I will literally be like, oh, you're making me mad right now, but I can see that this is growth for me. Okay. You know, things like that. So observe without judgment. Just be the observer. That's it. Be the observer. But there has to come a point where you do embody something different, though. You can't continue to be triggered and triggered and triggered and triggered. And once you know something, you can never unknow that something. So once you know what you didn't know, you can't then go back to not knowing. Like you're kind of, the awareness is there. So this is where you might actually start to get a little pissed at yourself because you're like, oh, like I'm doing it again. So what do we do in that situation? You are noticing a negative thought pattern in yourself, right? But I don't know what I don't know until you know, right? I know we're talking in like, but do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what awareness is. So like to become aware of something is just one moment you didn't know it, the next you do. And listening, talking, speaking, journaling, that's what helps you to see it. But living your life with your back turned to who you really are does not give you awareness. You're not open. So the fact that you're on here, you're open, you're becoming aware. This is beautiful. But the really, really cool thing then though, is you have to regulate your thinking. You have to. And this is the embodiment. So if I notice a thought pattern in myself when I look in the mirror, and this is real for me, this is true. I'm not telling you something that I haven't experienced myself. I used to look in the mirror and I used to talk so much smack about myself and my body. And I didn't know I did it until this work. And then I thought to myself, I'm just going to observe myself. And so I decided to observe myself in certain moments. So right before I'm about to get onto a meeting, what am I thinking? Right before I'm about to, right after I get out of the shower and I'm standing in front of the mirror, what am I thinking? And the mirror was the most profound because I noticed what I said to myself when I actually looked at myself. And most women on this call, and even men, will probably feel and understand the thoughts that we say. Your stomach's too big, your hips are too big, your boobs are too saggy, you have too much back fat, blah, 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 right? And so is that real? Is that true? Does God think, oh, you got too much cellulite? How dare you? No. And I always love to talk about the deer. I don't know why, but I have deer living in the forest and behind my house. And they're just such a beautiful way to reflect. Like the deer are not walking around looking at each other and going, oh my gosh, the color of your fur today is just hideous. Like it's actually comical if you think about what we use our mind for. Yes. So in my book, actually, The Best of Yourself, do I have it here? This is the new one that just came out, The Best of Yourself. It's on Amazon. In this book, I teach a growth model that I call loving yourself to become the best of yourself. Most people, and we were taught this, so most of us are hating ourselves to try to find the best of ourselves. So it sounds like this. You're too fat, you need to lose weight, so let's go on a diet, eat healthy so we can lose weight so we can be worthy. Right? It sounds like You're not successful. You're a failure. You don't know what you're doing. You haven't made enough money. So you're going to take a course so that you can learn how to make more money, to work harder, to be more disciplined, to commit to more, to make more money so you can be worthy. So it's this problem needing a fixing, and then you will be good when you are fixed. Oh my gosh. We're all good right now. There is no flaw. You have no flaw. Whatever flaw you think you have, it's made up in your mind. And it's made up in your mind because somebody else told you and you believed it. The moment you believed it, you accepted it as truth, it became part of who you are. And I don't walk around every single day, 24/7 going, oh, I am perfect and incredible and amazing and can do no wrong. It doesn't work that way. I still have human. I still have patterns that are deep within me. But I fight the urge to judge myself every day. I fight the urge. So this whole, I've recently released 100 pounds from my physical 3D body through reprogramming my subconscious mind. I created an identity of health. Who am I when I am healthy, when I am behaving healthy? So not how can I lose weight? Who would I be when I'm thin? No, I didn't ask that. That was not the goal. That's not what I strived for. What I strived for was how can I be health today? What would I think? What would be healthy thoughts I would have about me, about my life, about my body? How can I speak words? What words would I use if I was being health about me, about my life, about my body? And how can I be health in my activities and in my habits? How would I show up? What kind of food would I eat? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What would I believe about food? That was a big one, right? So see how I decided to just love myself for who I am. I stopped hating on myself. I stopped feeling like I was a problem. And I made the decision to become what I desired to be, which is health. I still fight it. There are still times where I look in the mirror and I go, Kathleen, you still got weight to lose. And when I do that, I go, no, you don't. I just took my scale completely out of my bathroom. You're gone. Threw it in the garbage. It's not part of my life. Gone. Because we keep hearing it. We see the messages and we hear it. So every time we see a before and after weight loss photo, every time we see a sign up for this weight loss program, every time we see take these weight loss pills, what is the message? Thinness is better. You need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. No, let's promote health instead. Look at how healthy I am. Look at how vibrant I am. Look at how strong I am. Look at how I move my body. Look at me climbing this mountain, etc., etc., etc. Right? So this is just, all I'm talking about are new ideas, new ways of thinking about things. But I truly believe that for us to ascend and to step into higher levels of everything, we have to drop the flaws. So stop thinking from a flaw. Those diets and weight loss programs make people feel less than. So my belief is the goal to lose weight is the problem, and why there is an epidemic of what they call obesity. Because you got a whole bunch of people feeling like crap about themselves, thinking they're not worthy, thinking they're not good enough, thinking that there's a problem, always trying to fix it. Why don't we love on everyone? Let's help everybody see their true power, their true beauty, their magic within, and let them realize that the number on the scale or the size of their body has nothing to do with their power. I let go of that in 2020. I let go of that belief that I was flawed, and I soared. I made $1 million in 7 months because I stopped thinking I was broken, and I fell in love with myself. So the identity work connects to wealth. Because if I'm always broken and I'm always flawed and I'm not good enough and I don't know enough and I'm too old and I don't have education and I'm not as good as so-and-so, the money is not going to flow for me because I'm not going to be able to make the impact I desire. And if we think about vibration, right? We think about attraction. You're a magnet. You're a magnet that is always on that is drawing to it similar experiences. So I now draw to me very, very powerful people that want to become even more powerful and that are making bigger impacts on this world. And so what happens there is I'm drawing to me those that want to grow because I want to grow. I'm pulling to me people that want more wealth because I'm generating and wanting more wealth myself. So we start to bring to us more of what we want. So if you're somebody that is in a business or is an entrepreneur, just notice what type of people you're drawing to you, if any. Notice that. When I was in network marketing, I didn't believe that I was a very good leader, so I could barely recruit to my team. Like, not that many people wanted to sign up with me. Some did, you know, I did pretty good. I would recruit like 5 people a month to my team. But when I started in this material and I started to change that and I started to believe that I'm a very powerful leader, everybody wants to work with me. I help people to be successful. I help them to be their best. I take them to that next level. I started to have trust and confidence in me and my ability to lead. And guess what? I started recruiting 1 person a day into my business. From 5 a month to 1 a day. So how do you want your magnet to be working when it comes to money then? Right? So it's not about just opening up your door of your store and turning on the open sign. You want to draw people to come in through the door. And that's where I feel we have the opportunity to do that through our identity, which creates our experience with life. I'm going to do an interview here in a second. But one thing that I'm going to talk about after the interview is we get a lot of people. And right now we have a lot. And I'm grateful for it because it's showing us what's needed right now. A lot of people are asking me how. And they're asking my team how. How did she make $1 million in 7 months? How has she made 30 million in 4 years, right? How? Tell me, what are the steps? I want to know the actual steps, okay? You're in the mechanical, you're in the masculine, you're trying to control, and you are here because you are meant to move into the feminine. You are meant to move into the surrender, into the let, and you are now meant to go within and understand that everything outside of you happens because of the inside of you. Bob used to say success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. But Robert Russell, in You Too Can Be Prosperous, says that it's 99% consciousness and 1% strategy. I believe it's consciousness. 99%. You can't take a strategy without a corresponding consciousness. It's impossible. You can't move your body, you can't do something in your life without a belief system that goes with it, without an identity. Change the identity, do the exact same activity, you'll have a completely different outcome. Believe it's not going to work, it won't. Believe that it is going to work, it will. It's that easy. So while you want to ask the how, I want you to surrender. I want you to let, and I want you to say, I don't need to know the how, I'm learning the who. Who do I need to be is the question, right? So what's so beautiful about this, I did mentorship with Neil Donald Walsh. He did Conversations with God series. Well, God channeled through him. And Neil so beautifully said to me, well, here's the thing, Kathleen. We have 2 responsibilities and God has 2 responsibilities. And we're wasting our time trying to control God's responsibilities. So if you want to be efficient and you want to be powerful and you want to create this massive wealth and success and impact on this world, you have to stop trying to control God. So what's our responsibilities? To wake up every single morning and to get dressed and show up as the version of us we need to be to create the success, right? So my responsibility, your responsibility then is to be like, okay, I am here, I am showing up, I am in, here we go. And I'm gonna be $100 million KC today. I'm going to be successful today. I'm going to be faith on fire today. Yes. So when we say wake up and show up, we don't mean show up as the you that you've been for the past 20 years that doesn't believe in themselves. We mean show up as the who you need to be to step into this next level version of you. That's our responsibilities. God's responsibilities, the how and the when. If you let those two things go, you will get so much peace. It's not about the how. I don't need to know how. The how will unfold. This is the beautiful thing about it. There are steps that I took, absolutely. From the moment I launched my business to the way that my business is today, right now, I hired certain people. I made certain decisions. I used certain marketing teams, et cetera, et cetera. There are steps that I took. But it wasn't the steps that I took that created the success. It was the thoughts that I had, the feelings that were going on in my consciousness, the identity. And then I trusted my intuition. I listened to what God said to me. So my intuition said, do this. My intuition said, try this on for size. My intuition said, act on this. Oh, here's a person landing in your lap. Do you know that I was talking to somebody yesterday? Okay. My favorite author is Neville Goddard, one of. I think Neil's probably my absolute favorite, but Neville Goddard. I'm talking to this person yesterday, and his name is Nev, N-E-V. And I went, oh, what is that short form for? He goes, oh, Neville. And his dad's from Barbados. Neville's from Barbados. I don't know why I met this person. I have no idea what it is for, but I know that it's meant to be. And so I just follow the energy. So I'm going to have a Zoom call with this person. No idea why. That's too coincidental. So I'm just listening. That's it. So that's what I want you to do, is to go deep within, really, really tap into an identity, become who you need to be to have the life that you desire, and then listen. Listen. But you have to be in a surrendered state to listen, because if you're trying to control it, and trust me, I have some controlling tendencies from my father. So if you're trying to control it, you're trying to make it be what you want it to be. You're trying to force it. You got to know the steps, the 1 through 10. Tell me what you did and I'll do it. You are not listening. You're not in a surrendered state. The ideas are coming and you're too focused on trying to find the next step. You're following a list somebody wrote out for you, and you're not listening to what God's saying about this person and this opportunity and doing this, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let go of the how and let go of the when. If you are attached to time, you need it to be today, or that's it, you're attached. You don't need it to be today. Why? Because you're okay right now. You have a sense of plenty. How do I know you're okay? You're on a Zoom call listening to me. You're okay. You're just fine. Right? So we're just changing perspective. We're just changing perception. But that's what I want to say about the how. Please just surrender. I have taught people my exact strategy, everything I do from start to finish. I have said, do this, then do that, and do this, and do that, and da-da-da. And I was like, and this was at the beginning. This was when I first, I made the $3 million in a year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to teach people how to just duplicate what I just did. Let's go. And I taught them the exact steps and wah, wah. Nothing happened. No sales. And I'm like, but what wasn't there? My thoughts, my identity, my energy, my belief system. It wasn't there. So this is where I want you guys to build that within yourself. Build that power, allow your light to shine, be such a powerful version of yourself that just everything comes together. So just for now, let go of the how. And know that it will unfold. I wrote down on a piece of paper once, and I don't know where it came from. I didn't read it anywhere. It just came through me. I wrote faith. Knowing if I stay on this path long enough, I will reach my destination. Just knowing if I stay on this path, I will get to where I want to go. That's it. Except we want to know, how long are we going to be on the path for, and how many more steps is it? And then should I walk this way or should I go that way? What kind of shoe should I wear when I'm walking on the path? Oh, right? This is the control. This is the control. So stop gripping it so tightly, right? And just touch it nice and lightly. Lightly. That's the flow. That's the flow state. Oh, the sun's coming back now. Let's talk to Oksana. Is she here? Where is she? We're gonna have a chat. This is gonna be good. Oh, you look so beautiful.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very excited to be here, and I'm so excited. And every time you talk, it just gets me to the whole new level.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
so glad. Where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Calgary, Canada.
Both of my daughters were born there.
Oh, nice.
Mason was born at Rocky View General Hospital, and Reagan was born in my master bedroom at home. I had a home birth. I had a home birth with Reagan. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. So Jesse told me a couple of things, but I would rather that you just tell everybody. I think you've been studying this information for some time, so this wasn't like completely new when you got introduced to me. But why don't you tell everybody kind of where you were at, where you were thinking, and what your experience was?
Yeah, yes, of course. So yeah, I'm not new to this material. I've been in personal and spiritual development for decades. I haven't quite studied through Bob Proctor that much. I took other avenues, but and I certainly created a lot of success in my life. But I didn't, in the last year, I didn't feel that I was successful. So my before, if I would start there, everything you said in the beginning of this call, that was me last year. Regardless the amount of success, incredible success I created in my life, I built a multi-million-dollar business. I am a best-selling author with Dr. John Gray, best-selling, but nothing that I did was felt enough. So when I transitioned to be an online coach, I started a business, and then I fell out of love of business. I felt like I no longer inspired. Everything felt hard, and back then I didn't have the language hitting the upper limit and all of those kind of things. So I kind of just resigned all together because I just didn't love it anymore. And that's kind of phase where I was in, and then I traveled across the world. I went to Europe to visit my friend just to get myself out of this bubble. And I started realizing how incredible and abundant and prosperous my life really is. And of course, I didn't have the concept of the law of relativity back then, but it's kind of naturally came to me. And this started the trajectory of shifting things. And this is how this friend actually who I visited connected me to you. And as soon as I got on this first calls on YouTube, I immediately knew it was speaking to my truth. Like I didn't need to examine it, and I was in the right place. And then a few weeks later, I signed up for Wealth from Within. That's when I started, and I didn't start a millionaire until early December. So, and what I can tell now that just in 2.5 months, I've accomplished a lot more in this 2 months than I did the whole entire 2023.
Wow.
And, yeah. And I, like when I realized that I was going to be interviewed here, right? First, by the way, it's not a coincidence. That's something I declared and manifested. And I told Jesse that too. The other not coincidence that it is a money talk we're having today. And the word of the year that I've chosen is the riches. And when you were asking in prosperity or wealth from within, like, what are you here to learn? I said, I'm here to master my riches, learn to master my riches, and this is kind of a journey that I'm on. So, and it's kind of all fallen into things. And so when I realized that I would be interviewed, and I wrote pages and pages and pages, that things that I wanted to share with the world. But there's few things that where I really gotten the biggest breakthrough that I think that everything's kind of built on is to have a different understanding of God. And I'm not a religious person. And I was born in Russia, so there was no religious at all. So there was no faith for the longest time in my life. And understanding God and creative substance, and that led me to understanding my divinity, not on the intellectual level, but on the true, like it fell into my cellular kind of level, on the cellular level. And that where all these shifts started. And I feel like all that intellectual knowledge, now that I can put a picture on it, that I was collecting over the years, it was sitting on top, in the top part of my intellectual mind. And then it was kind of like was a kink in a hose, got unhooked, and everything fell in to the body, to subconscious accepted all these things. And in the past, like all these successes, they never felt enough. It was not enough. So, and didn't matter what I did, it wasn't enough. So I was always going for something more knowledge, not more divinity. So that's kind of my
That is so good. That just makes my heart sing because we want to seek knowledge. Like that's what we want is tell me this four-step process. Tell me this model. Tell me this theory. Let me read this book, blah, 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 blah. But when you connect to your oneness and you feel who and what you really are, you start to see magic happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to explain it to somebody that hasn't yet experienced it, but that is one of the things that I'm super grateful that I'm really good at is helping people to connect to their oneness, to connect to their spirit, to feel it. So I'm grateful for that. So what do you think is different now going forward? What's going to be different in your life going forward? What do you anticipate to happen for the rest of the year for yourself?
Yeah, so my other breakthrough or the understanding what I anticipate is that I understand now the process of manifestation because I manifested a ton of things in my life, right?
Yeah.
And there's many different ways to do that. But because I understand this fast track, let's just call it, of process of manifestation, right? That I can engineer my reality now consciously, understanding that I'm a cause to all my effects, and I understand the sequence of manifestation and how it's going to go. I now have the knowing and understanding that when I have a desire, by the way, before I came to you, I did not have a desire. I kind of was resigned, like all these things did not really turn me on, like a bigger house. I love where I live. I drive a very nice car, have traveled the world. So I kind of wasn't turning me on until I really find a purpose of my work, because I was asking myself all the time, why do I know all these things? What am I supposed to do with that? And now that I know that was meant for me to impact collective consciousness, to learn these things instead of just like keeping it all to myself. So, and that give it a bigger purpose for what I do, and courage too, because now I'm not only doing it for myself, but for other things. So now that I know that if I have a desire or a goal, and I have a burning desire, and I have faith that it is happening, that is no longer like a dream. It is a reality that exists in a different in a different dimension, that my only job is to walk towards that and to take actions, inspired actions, to bring that into the world. So that's kind of what I am manifesting. Those are my next steps is to and I'm going to say this too, that the book that you were referring to is by Robert Russell, You Too Can Be Prosperous. I read it twice, and it's blowing my mind, that people don't ask for God. There is no small or big ask. It's all the same, right? But because most people don't ask for big, because we don't believe that it's possible for us, we try to ask for tiny little things. So, and I said, wow, if that's the truth, why wouldn't I ask for a big thing? So I'm asking for giant things, like a multi-million-dollar business. I'm also involved in our local politics on a high level, big things creating there. And I'm just going for big. Might as well take same amount of work and energy to create a small thing or a big thing or sell.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's not big or small. Are you coming to Toronto?
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah,
okay, good.
I'm
Okay,
excited about
I
that.
want to give you. I want to give you a hug. Okay, this is the thing. This is it right here. The difference between big and small. So why did this like phenomenal, crazy, exceptional, like people think that I'm lying when I talk about what's happened in the past 4 years, because they can't comprehend the reality of it, because the mind is too limited to have the awareness to even ask for it, right? So what Oksana is actually saying is, whether it's a big thing or it's a small thing, it actually does not matter. God gives you whatever you ask for, and you ask through who you're being. So God gives you whatever you ask for. But if you aren't asking for it, you will never get it. So ask for bigger. And I could not agree more with that, because I'm sitting here going, oh man, like I should ask for like 100 million on my first year. Imagine if I had believed that. So the only thing limiting you is actually your disbelief of the thing that you desire. It's keeping you from it. So if anybody is listening and they're kind of where you were before, where they don't have the burning desire, they, their life's okay, that sort of thing. What would you say to them about going forward now in their life? What would be from this perspective now, not the old, but the new one? What would you tell them?
That what I would tell them, that, there is a way to live life, that it's a gift and it's so fulfilling and it's so worth living. It's not just so many times we just waste days or years thinking, oh, it's just another day. But if taking it as a gift and find purpose and fulfillment in it and true joy, and understand that life is truly meant to enjoy this journey and evolve, and not see our fears, challenges as something to stop us, because sometimes there is a belief that, oh, if it's so difficult, universe is telling me not to go that way. And I used to believe that, actually. But now I know universe is just showing me that this is the right way. And resilience, you build resilience. A lot of people dream about being confident. You don't wake up confident one day. You build that confidence by taking these steps and going on the other side of this fear or whatever that is blocking you. But it all comes down to the identity at the core of it. And when I started, really my focus is every morning I wake up looking forward to my spiritual routine in the morning, and it's all focused on identity. Like I built a successful identity instead of taking everything for granted. And it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Everyone knows that. So I was just kind of dimming my light all the time and not really shining it. And because I didn't have a reason, now I have a reason for others. The purpose is to do it for others. That would take all the pressure of yourself, and you just start. It's also some of the universal laws, I believe, that God steps in and help you when you help others. So it's not just all about you. So
yeah, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things and the most powerful things, is when we are trying to control the outcome and we want it to be done a certain way and by a certain timeline, and we're in the mechanics. We're literally working alone. We're like shutting out God from the process. But when we go within and we surrender and we wake up and we really feel our oneness, we suddenly are not alone. We're suddenly so much powerful. We move faster. Things happen quick and easily and effortlessly, and you're like, wow, look at that, you know. And Brittany's story yesterday was really beautiful too. Something she thought would take 10 years, she did it in 2, and experienced a contrast that seemed to most people they would have given up, and she saw that that was the doorway towards what she wanted in a faster way. So this material is so beautiful. And you know what I've noticed about you, Oksana, is that you really do show up and embody this work. So every time I see you, you're participating, you're engaged, you're listening, and you're taking what I'm teaching and you're moving it into your body. And that's the embodiment of it. So that's why you're seeing the shifts that you're seeing. I'm so grateful for you for coming on and chatting. I'll hug you in May in Toronto, if not sooner, who knows. And I'm just grateful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. And I'm so grateful for you too, and for everyone on the team and in the Millionaire program. So love you.
Yeah, our Diamond Academy family is really special. Really, really special. You know, what was really beautiful to watch yesterday was members of our Diamond Academy family noticing each other's growth on the call yesterday and like sharing with each other, like, oh my God, look at you go. Like, it's like this team of cheerleaders that are holding each other to the new standard, to the new level. And it's really inspiring. It's really, really motivating. And some of them have become lifelong friends and mastermind partners and support each other in their growth. So that's why we call it a family. And this business is a family business. It is family run. You know, my mom and dad are both in this business. My ex is in this business. We have everybody that works with us. Most of their families work in their businesses with them. It's really, really beautiful. So I want to join your team. Yeah, everybody says that. Yeah. But you might not. You might not. You never know. I swear one day, like there's this like waiting list to join my team. Like if I ever opened up enrollment one day and just like let anybody come onto the team, I wonder what that would look like. But anyways, we can sell. Yeah, you'll be able to be affiliates for House of Manifestation soon. I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. But I think it's just a beautiful testament to this work and to the coaching academy that we have here. You know, we really believe in people and we hold space and we guide and we go along and we grow with. And so many people that want to be on my team or want to share about this, it's just a testament to how beautiful this is. So I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. I'm building my own team. Get it, girl. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I wanted to chat about a few things because I know I'm going to get these types of questions and people will always ask me, you know, so what's different, Kathleen? You're telling me I'm just going to have different thoughts and money's going to flow to me. And I am going to say yes, that is true. Is I want you to think differently. I want you to feel differently. I want you to connect to your oneness. I want you to see that money is God in action. And so when you're asking for things and you're feeling into things and you're allowing things to come to you, that's where your power lies. But I wanted to give you some examples of shifts that I've made in my thinking related to money that are very powerful. So for example, budgeting. So I don't believe in budgeting any longer. Okay. So my dad taught me that we got to budget, like we got to create a budget. And he also taught me to always have 6 months worth of your bills saved in your account at all times, just in case, you know, have 6 months. It's funny now, he said it in front of the team, I think. He said, you know, I taught you that, Kathleen, but I never did it. I never had the 6 months in my bank account. So he didn't actually embody what he taught me. But anyway, but he taught me that. So I had this belief that anything could go wrong at any moment and we needed to plan for the potentiality of anything going wrong, you know? And then I've been taught to, you know, budget. I've been taught to put money into RSPs for retirement. I don't like any of that anymore. I do not budget. Even in business, people are like, what's your budget for this? No, I'm not budgeting. Budgeting is restrictive, I feel like. When we budget, we are saying we have this much, And where do we want to put this much? And how much do we want to limit towards this? So I actually found the physical act of creating a budget to be very limiting, and it made me feel like I didn't have enough. The act of budgeting made me feel like I didn't have enough. The act of planning for retirement doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel like abundance and prosperity. It makes me feel like I'm not going to have enough, so I got to put some away. No money's going to come, etc., etc. So I don't believe in that anymore. I don't talk about it. I don't even want to go there. So what do I do instead? I allocate money. And I allocate money from the fourth dimension, from my imagination. So I will allocate money that isn't yet here in the 3D world, that is on its way, right? So I want $100 million. I desire it. I want to vibrationally match it. I would like to be open to receive 100 million. What have I done? I've mapped out how I'm going to spend it. What am I going to do with it? What investments am I going to make? Who on my team's going to get a pay raise? Who else am I going to hire? What investments into the business am I going to make? Maybe I'm going to create a new one, etc., etc., etc. So that act is very empowering. It comes from abundance and prosperity. It is tapping into the imaginative space. It feels like play. It feels exciting. So what am I doing? I'm leaving feeling a sense of plenty. And then what I've also done is I've created demand in the mind. So now I'm going to start showing up as the CEO of a $100 million company that has this department and invests in this and does that and yada, yada, yada. So now it helps me to be her in the physical 3D world today. So I like to allocate, not budget, just little shifts. Even yesterday, somebody asked about debt. So I believe debt is abundance. How, Kathleen? It's a negative. How is it abundance? It's still money. It's still money. It's abundance. And if we think about energetically then, whether the money belongs to you or it belongs to me, if it's in my bank account, it's abundance. And then I move it through and I circulate. So debt is circulated abundance. So I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to get $50,000 from you, Mr. Bank. Thank you so much. It's now in my account. Now I'm going to circulate it. Now I'm in abundance and prosperity. And here we go. It's moving. It's just a way of seeing it, whether it's right or wrong, or it's truth or not. What I believe to be true will impact my truth. So I'm not going to get all tizzy about debt. I'm really not. And even if you got to go bankrupt, drop the story about bankruptcy. Drop what it means. Go to a place where you have $10 million in the bank, and your story will be 4 years ago, I went bankrupt, and look at me with 10 mil in my bank account today, right? But if you're stuck in the I'm filing for bankruptcy and it's wrong and I'm a failure, this means I'm not going to be able to do this and yada, yada, you're now fixated upon a problem. Thank you, God, for showing me that this problem is already solved. That's where I want you to go. And go to the 10 million in the bank account. Yeah. And then people ask me, Kathleen, do you believe there is a difference between spending and investing money? Is there a right way to spend? And is there a wrong way to spend? Is there a right way to invest? Is there a wrong way to invest? So I truly believe that anytime I spend money, it is an investment. As long as my mind is in the right place, right? So if I'm spending money and I'm like, oh, I feel so grateful for this, and oh, this is going to come back to me twofold. Oh man, look, an opportunity for me to circulate money. This is so great. That energy, that feeling is an investment. To spend your money, and to me, it wouldn't be an investment, would be if you're like, oh, I feel so guilty about spending that money. Oh, I shouldn't have bought this. I shouldn't have spent it. Oh, this is too expensive, but I'm getting it anyways. I really shouldn't. No, don't. In both situations, you're buying it, right? Buy it in the energy of having it, gratefulness for it, do it, go all in, enjoy, be like, oh, this is going to come back to me. I believe that whenever I spend money, it comes right back. It's a ricochet. I drink the glass of water and I just fill it right back up again. That's what I believe. So sometimes I will intentionally go and make a purchase because money hasn't come in a few days, and I'm like, oh, I want some money to come in. I'm going to go spend some. So I'll go and I'll invest and I'll come back. So I truly do believe that you can't really go wrong unless you're being negative about money. How do you make your faith stronger? Faith is a feeling and it's a state of being. So I would ask yourself, how can I be faith today? How can I walk in faith today? Having faith is a decision. You can worry about something or you can have faith that it's going to work out. So stress is not something that we have. Stress is something that we do. That was one of the best quotes that I ever heard that made me go, wow, blow my mind. Because I thought stress was all around me and it was on me and it was pushing at me. And I was stressed because the world was stressing me out. And then once I realized that stress was something that I was actually doing, I was like, oh, you mean this to-do list doesn't have to keep me up all night? You're telling me that the internal desire to get everything done on time doesn't have to be my reality, that I could just not get it done on time since I'm creating the timeline anyway? Like, it's just so interesting what the mind will do. So faith is a decision. It is a state of being. It's a way of existing that you can choose in any moment to embody. You know what? I'm just going to have faith. I am just going to have faith. So maybe you need to tell yourself, you know what? I'm just going to have faith for 24 hours. Meaning, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to have faith. I'm going to give it to God. Jesus, take the wheel and cast the burden. You know, Scoville Shin, she talks about cast the burden. So that's faith. Stop holding it in your mind so much. I saw a TikTok, or it might have been a reel. Queen Latifah. Oh my gosh, I love Queen Latifah. Somebody asked her, I think she was on the Drew Barrymore show, what's the best piece of advice you ever got? And her manager said to her one day, she was like stressing over a breakup with a boyfriend, and he goes, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. And it was like, you're right. Like, so many of these things, we are making them so serious, so important. They're a big deal. So have faith, realize it's not that big of a deal, and go have some fun, right? Touch it lightly. Don't grip it so tightly. See how it all like comes together in similar ways? So I believe that spending and investing are based on the way in which you feel or the thoughts that you have about the act of spending. But I also believe that there is a difference between spending and investing your thoughts. Okay? So to invest your thoughts, what kind of thoughts would be investments into you and your future? So again, you're going to have to become an observer of your thoughts, right? Like, if you don't know your thoughts at all, you have no idea what's going on in your mind. You won't know the difference if you're spending or investing. So self-awareness, right? So investment thoughts, you can do this. It's already done. It's all working out in your favor. You are strong, you are powerful, you are disciplined, you are motivated. I'm open to receive more. Thank you, God, for giving me everything I've asked for, etc., etc., etc. Like, these are thoughts that are productive, they are powerful, they are positive. So they are an investment into your life, and they're an investment into your future. The thoughts that you have today create your tomorrow. Today was created by yesterday's thoughts. So let's stop thinking about what happened yesterday and then making yesterday our tomorrow. Let's start off right now. What thoughts would be investments into my future? What thoughts would be an investment into my future? That anything is possible, that I can achieve anything. Like, the story of your life is written by you completely. We played Natasha Bedingfield yesterday, Unwritten, at the end of the day. Like, so good, because you decide. I literally wrote this whole thing down. I wrote down, it's a comeback story. Becomes, world famous coach, manifests millions of dollars, writes books, like, because what you think about, you become. So that's the thought work that I want you to do, is to start to pay attention and to think differently. What thoughts would be spending and not investing? Any negative thought toward yourself? Thank you, Brooke. She said it, girl. Gossip. Complaining. Judgment. Negativity. I would even say, comparison, competition. I would also say, too, asking yourself questions that are not productive. So why does it never work out for me? Why is everybody else so good at it, but I'm not? We do that. Yeah. So thoughts of fear, thoughts of worry, thoughts of doubt. You replaying the argument that you had with your husband yesterday morning. Thinking about it over and over and over again. What are you doing? You're spending. Go talk to your husband. Apologize, even if you didn't do anything wrong. Take the high road. Fix it. Because staying in that state is spending, not investing. So I don't want to hold the negative. I don't want to hold grudges. Even if you make me wrong, okay, in your mind, I will never make you wrong back. Because I know when I make another wrong in my mind, I'm making myself wrong in my mind. Why? Because we are one. We are one. How did you make that, Andrea? Did you just make that meme? Wow, in like 2 seconds, she whipped that out. You got to send that to me on Instagram. I'll put it on my stories. That's so fun. So this is the key, right? So if we think about our thoughts related to money, then come on, let's invest them. Let's invest them. I am so abundant. I am so prosperous. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. One of the beliefs that I have is that making money is easy. I did not believe that before. I wasn't naturally born with a thought that making money was easy. I experienced a life where I had to work really hard for my money. I used to work 16-hour overnight shifts as a nurse to get the shift premium to make $2,400 every 2 weeks. That's a lot of work, grueling work, hard work, very physical. Now $2,400 can come through in like, I don't know, an hour. Probably 30 minutes maybe. So what's the difference? Me. I'm different. I've got different standards. I have different identity. I believe in myself differently. And now I believe that money can flow to me easily. But you can't continue to be a nurse working at the bedside and make millions of dollars. You can't. Because you chose to be a nurse from a different consciousness, from a different identity. So Kathleen back then chose to be a nurse. Kathleen today chooses to be a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Different identities, different life. And Oksana talked about like different timelines and dimensions. I'm on a completely different dimension. I'm on a completely different timeline. I skipped timelines. So people call it quantum leaping. They call it collapsing time, right? So it would take somebody how many years to make $30 million in a business? Took me 4. Why? I jumped timelines. Why? I understand identity. I understand frequency. I understand vibration. I understand faith. And I understand the connection to God. And God makes me very powerful. And makes you very powerful if you believe it. The only difference is that I believe it 100% wholeheartedly. And I could believe in more. I know that. So even myself right now, I'm like, okay, what would be a belief that would be super powerful for me to believe today? This is what I have conversations with myself about. How do you connect with God? Listen to India Arie's I Am Light. One little example. That's just one way that I just really feel it. But you can feel it in any moment. You can just go within and say, I feel you. There you are. God is an awareness. God is a perception. It's something that you perceive. It's never something you see. God is beyond what our mind can comprehend. Our soul is beyond what our mind can comprehend. So you've got to leave the box that is your mind to be able to perceive it. But you can perceive God in any moment. You know, some of you are talking about the lights coming through from my windows. Some of you will be like, oh my gosh, it's spirit, it's God, look. Somebody sent me a picture yesterday and there was like wings behind me, like an angel. If you choose to perceive that. But it could just be the light coming in through the glass in a certain way. If you choose to perceive that. So it is what you want it to be. So you can choose to feel your oneness at any moment. Talk to God. It's really beautiful. Somebody asked, so somebody asked about faith. How do you have more faith? And then they asked again, how do you embody faith? It's just another example of needing to know how to do something, right? So let me show you a little example for faith, for example. So faith is something that you have right now. It is a way of being. It is a feeling that you every single day already embody. How do you know? You order an Amazon package and you have faith that it will be delivered. Because you don't sit there and be like, oh, I don't think it's going to come. I'm really worried about this Amazon package. Like, I don't see it. Like, I think it's going to be late. I don't trust Amazon. I don't think Amazon's going to deliver this package. No, you go, you click, you order it, and then you just go, oh, it'll come. It'll show up. I even forget about it. And then I go out there and there's 7 packages sitting on the doorstep. So that's faith. So what is the feeling that you have when you order from Amazon and you expect it to come? That's faith right there. The other thing is too, we have this thing called gravity, and I really don't know how it works. I have no idea. The law of gravity. It says that when we step outside, that gravity will pull our feet to the ground and keep us down here, keep us grounded, right? I don't understand it, but I have faith in it. So I just walk around, not afraid I'm going to hit my head and float around. I'm just walking and moving. I have faith in gravity, right? Fear is also faith, but in the unwanted outcome. So you have faith in the thing you fear. Yes. So the person who's afraid of driving on the highway, so you don't drive on the highway. You have so much faith that an accident is going to occur on that highway that you will not drive on that highway. Yep. I have faith that when I jump, I won't float up. Exactly, Andrea. Yeah. So this is what's so powerful, is the faith that we have. And listen, you have faith that your Uber driver is going to take you. You don't know that guy. You don't know what kind of car he has. You don't even know if it's his car. You don't know who he is. He's a perfect stranger. We now get into cars with perfect strangers every single day like it's nothing. And we have faith in it. But you can't have faith in your ability to make more money. You can't have faith in your ability to be successful at your business. You can't have faith in your ability that you're beautiful and you're amazing and you're strong and you can accomplish anything. Enough's enough. Turn that faith inward. Yeah, I have faith in myself. When you have faith in yourself, it's very powerful. So most people would understand the word faith in a religious context. So that's where I was. So for me, like, people would be like, do you have faith? I'd be like religion? Like, am I religious? Like, well, do I believe in God? That's what I would have thought it meant. But now I understand that faith is not a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing. And it's a state of being, and it's a way of existing. And so now I understand that faith is, a very, very powerful tool, because the thought that you have in your mind is just a thought, but when you have faith in the thought, that's when it's powerful. So affirmations are tricky, because if you keep affirming something, but you never have faith in it, you'll never believe it. I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, but you still walk with a lack of confidence every day, insecure. But when you go, I am confident, boom, you believe it now. You have faith in it now. So now you will walk confidently. It changes so quickly. So faith is not anything related to something outside of you. Faith in everything and all things. So I have faith in myself. I have faith in God. I have faith in the world. I have faith that people are inherently good. If you don't, I would change that. People are inherently good. And if they're not good, it's because they don't know any better yet. They're unaware, right? Many people will say that they have like so much faith in God. I have faith in God. I have faith that God will deliver, et cetera, et cetera. And then I read something somewhere that said, let's go a step further and let's not have faith in God. Let's have the faith of God. The faith that God has, our creator has, source has. So I just think about, like, when creation was happening, was God like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, right? We went to Universal Studios, and my girls got a wand from Harry Potter World. I've never seen Harry Potter. I don't really know anything about it or the wands, but I had to buy a wand. I was like, I'm buying a wand. And so I brought this wand home, and I'm like, I want like this, and I want this, and I'm going to think about this, and this is what I'm going to ask for, this. And it actually allowed me to tap into a faith feeling, because I'm like, well, if I believe that this wand gives me whatever I want and that it works every time, then that'll be the outcome, right? So just like little things, little ways of believing in and having fun is really, really powerful. Yeah. I have a very fun life. Yes, I'm fun. And I also would say I'm funny. I think I can be funny. And I have multiple sides to me. And this is important to understand too. I have a very feminine side and I have a very masculine side. So I'm over here in the feminine and I'm meditating and doing breath work and spiritual and reading and teaching. But then I have the masculine side where I work my business every single day. I do my own social media. I run my team. I lead my team. I like things to be done a certain way. Don't send me a voice note longer than a minute. I'm not going to listen. I know myself. My team knows that. They're like, okay, I'm going to keep this voice note to under a minute, because if it's too long, in between calls and all that, like I'm going to miss it. So keep it to 59 seconds and I will listen right away. But it's the duality, right? It's the feminine, it's the masculine. I can be really, really emotional. I'm so emotional. Yesterday, I was on a memorial for a dear friend's father, and he was part of the coaching world as well. And on that memorial, she was emotional and I was in tears. I was just feeling it. I felt everything. I was crying like, oh my gosh, I'm so emotional. But I'm so damn happy when I'm happy, and I am just like crying in gratitude. Like I've felt such profound gratitude that it brings me to literal tears. So I am an emotional woman, and it's part of what makes me so successful is my ability to feel, because feel is vibration, right? And your ability to control it too. And I'm not afraid of a sad moment going to manifest outward. I understand that I'm a happy woman that has a sad moment. I'm a successful woman that is perhaps solving a problem in the business in a moment, something like that. I also joke about, I can be very spiritual and feel my oneness, but my human can come out. And so when I'm in my personal mind and I'm taking something personal, I'm mad, my feelings are hurt, I'm in my human, and I'll be like, oh, my human's out. Hold on a minute. So it's like I'm aware of the human parts of me, and I choose to move it and change the energy. So this is the duality. What kind of person are you, and who do you want to be, and how can you flourish and grow? So the other thing that I want to just end with before we end for the day, I have homework for you. I just want us to focus upon the idea of attachment just a bit more. Be in the fun, light energy related to money. When I launched my business in January of 2020, I was so excited about the potentiality of making $1 million that I never needed it. So I was never going to be worthy with $1 million. I was never going to finally measure up once I made $1 million. I was never going to finally make my dad proud with the $1 million. I wasn't going to be seen or be put up on a pedestal or be important to the world once I made $1 million. I was in the energy of, I would love to make $1 million. This would be so much fun. I'd take my kids here. I'd go do this. I'd do, invest in this. Life would be so good. But it was never a need for my life to be whole and complete. So I want you to tap into this energy of grateful but never satisfied, sense of plenty, unattached. Neil taught me the 2 words. It is a preference and not a requirement. And that changed everything for me. And I only heard this like 6 months ago. So but as soon as he said it, I was like, that's it. That's what I did. It was never a requirement. I don't absolutely require it. I would love it, but I will be okay either way. Are you in that energy or no? Now, Tommy sent me a check for the money, the $1,111. And what I could tell, the way that he sent me that, it's not a requirement. He's having fun. He would love it, but he's not attached. It has to be me. It's going to be me. That I'm going to prove that I'm the best manifester and I'm going to win the money and that I'm going to be whole and perfect. No, it's not like that. So this is where I want you to just allow yourself to be unattached to the outcome. Unattached to the outcome. The homework for today, I'm going to get you to take some action now. So yesterday was about doing an abundance inventory. So I wanted to get you into a sense of plenty. I wanted you to feel the abundance all around you. I wanted to change the way you felt about money. I don't want you out there wanting to manifest for more money from a feeling that you don't have any and you're limited and you need it. We're going to be like hitting our head against the wall then. So now that we've shifted into this feeling of plenty, and if you're watching this and you didn't do yesterday's, go back and do yesterday's and do the homework. But now that you have the sense of plenty, you can see the abundance in your life, your gratitude, you're in a sense of gratitude. I want you to take inspired action towards abundance. Okay? Inspired action towards abundance. So you'll see there's some options in there. And so we're going to actually move our body towards the idea. Can you post the workbook again, please, Jen? That would be great. Oh, there it is. So one thing that you could do is an act of generosity. So go buy something for somebody, go give somebody something, go pay for somebody's coffee, go leave $20 in a box of Oreos. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But take action through the circulation of money. That could be through generosity. Another thing that you could do is to spend money in the feeling of having money. So maybe it's something that you need to spend money on today, like maybe groceries or a bill you need to pay. Maybe it's the gas that you have to put in your car. Do it in the feeling of having money, the gratefulness of being able to put the gas in your car, the gratefulness for being able to pay for this bill. So it's a bill that you're going to pay anyway, but I want you to do it in a different way. And if you're really feeling daring, one thing that I would love for you to do, I'm not asking you to do all of these things, choose one. But if you're feeling daring, go spend money at a price point that's a bit higher than you normally would. So if you need something new and you would normally go and buy it for $40, go buy the best one there is. So I used to do this. I would go out for dinner, and this is when I used to drink. I would go out for dinner and I would feel like a glass of champagne, and the old me would always order the cheapest glass of champagne. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know the difference, but I would always buy the cheapest because I was somebody that bought the cheapest. So I made a decision that I'm not going to be like that. So I bought the most expensive glass of champagne. It's just a difference in identity. And really it was $10 for the glass. So I want you to do that today. Let me know if you feel called to tag me in any of this. Please do tag me. You can post it in the Manifested with Kathleen Cameron Facebook group if you want. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to put up a reel. You can post it in the reel and let us know that you did it. This is your homework for today. And then tomorrow I'm going to give away the cash. So these 2 tasks should raise your frequency of vibration. They should get you more connected to the money. You do need to be on live tomorrow. So Tommy, you're going to have to be here to be able to cash your check. See how energy works. It's so powerful. So be on here tomorrow. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. We're going to talk about Manifest Toronto. We're going to talk about, I have a retreat next year. And then we're going to talk about any enrollment that's going to be opening and how you can become a part of Diamond Academy in some way. So that's all going to be tomorrow. I'm headed to downtown Toronto to the Four Seasons for a charity gala, Sick Kids Hospital charity gala with some members of the team. So we're going to get all prettied up and have a beautiful night. And then I will see all of you tomorrow. You are more likely to be transformed if you can do all 3 of these days live. So grateful for all of you, proud of you for doing it. We'll see you all soon. We're going to end with a song today. We're going to end with Daydream by Lily something or other. I can't remember her last name, so sorry about that. Lily Miola. And I think it's just such a beautiful song. I want you guys to please daydream. You heard it from Oksana today. Like, think big. She's opening a bank. She didn't tell you that, but she's opening a bank. Okay. So this woman's thinking big. But this is the type of energy that we want to be surrounded by. So I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for the time, the space, for listening. And then we'll see everybody tomorrow.